Now I have no idea when you're going to be watching this video, and of course we can't go back in time, but regardless, if you're not already on the daily journaling train, then hopefully this video will inspire you to try it out. Because seriously, my journaling experience during these pandemic times have been far more than a mental health saver, and we're going to run through exactly why. Welcome, warriors! This is your man Johnny F here with nextlevelwarrior.com, and this channel is all about providing you with the knowledge and tools to help you build your warrior within to become your next level self, to create the positive changes in our lives that we're all capable of, which I'll tell you that using a journal is an absolute foundation for this. And the question you're probably not asking is, how does daily journaling play a role in your personal development? Well, whether you're curious about this or not, that's just one of the many things that you'll be understanding by the end of this video, along with a bunch of other lessons that I actually took from journaling for the past 365 days. Now, to start off, I have to be absolutely clear about something. I am not going to sugarcoat anything here. I don't know how I would have made it through 2020 without my daily journaling practice. I mean, I still would have made it, but not with the quality of mental health that it's been able to support me with. Whether it was to manage stress, anxiety, my emotions and thoughts, building hope for my future, and especially to keep me on course towards my goals throughout the last year of 2020. So let me know if journaling has made a difference in your life by hitting the like button right now, and share in the comments how long you've actually been doing it. Anyway, 2020 was an immense year of transformation through a hefty stack of challenges for me that I'm sure it was for you as well. In particular, I went through some pretty difficult experiences, including a spine injury from heavy squatting that I'm still actually recovering from. Back in early September, my friend and I got lost in a major provincial park with literally nothing but water and a book that we didn't burn for heat. A month later, racing through another trail in a provincial park to beat the sunset, I took a really bad fall. One that completely dislocated my shoulder. And we were very far away from the hospital. But they popped it back in. A few months before this, I actually endured an excruciatingly painful 10-day hospital stay with a ruptured appendix. And this was right in the middle of the pandemic, without any visitors. It took me nearly 2 months to recover from that, but right in the middle of the recovery, the biggest shock that completely flipped my family's life upside down. I lost my younger brother. Now maybe this doesn't make your year seem so bad, and believe me that the last thing that I want to create here is a pity party, because at the end of it, especially through how I was able to use my journal, I've discovered countless ways to process and reframe every one of my negative experiences. Understanding these challenges now from a different perspective in terms of what they've actually gifted me in my life, helping me to move away from the victimhood mindset that years ago was so familiar to me, which is the first lesson that I want to get into here. When you're stressed out about something and it's looping around in your head, we are very good at making the problem bigger and bigger, waking up every day with the same negative thoughts infiltrating our minds again and again. Hit the like button if you know what I'm talking about. Now, when you get these thoughts down on paper, just literally flowing out what they are, expanding on the experience of them, and just simply expressing it, this helps in a few profound ways. First, you're decluttering your mind. You're making space up there, creating an outlet for those thoughts to move through your pen onto paper. This has a similar effect to that of a friend listening to you about it, or a therapist to speak to. But of course with one major advantage. Two, actually. You don't have to worry about what people might think. There's no need to filter yourself, sugarcoat it, bend the truth, none of that. Especially as you practice journaling more. And second, or third, fourth, fifth? I don't know how many I just went through there. This is an absolutely non-judgmental private space that you can access anytime, basically for free. Does that mean you will? Maybe not. At least I'll speak for myself that I've been quite stubborn when it comes to getting my troubles immediately down on paper to process them. Keyword being immediately. I mean, I'll still get a journaling session in as I've been doing it for a couple years now, but I digress. The point being that we can only get better at anything we continue to practice. Now, there is another way that we cannot overlook. Another way that getting negative thoughts and negative self-talk down on paper will definitely help you, as it helped me this year. If you let them get out of control by building it up in your head, they start becoming very true in there. I'm forgetting his name, but some guy said, "Watch what you tell yourself. You're likely to believe it." Yeah, that guy. You see, when you get it down on paper, then come back to it, most of the time you'll realize how wildly out of proportion you may have made it out to be. And here's the thing. The longer that it loops around in your mind, the crazier and bigger it can get. We need to have healthy outlets of expression. Even though thoughts aren't tangible, they can become detrimental in your mind, negatively impacting your mental health. Whether they're fears, worries, resentments, anger towards someone else, anger at yourself, or sadness about something, it's absolutely normal to experience it. But get it down on paper. Process it and reflect it, to see it from the other side. This helps you to build compassion for yourself and literally have another means of witnessing your growth over time. Which brings me to one of the biggest things that journaling daily for this past year has helped me to create. Something we can all use more of in our lives, and something that is 100% necessary towards becoming our next level self. Hope. Now, while I tend to be a very upbeat and positive guy, this year has really tested me with all the injuries, hospitalizations, recovery times that not only didn't allow me to work out for months, but totally zapped my motivation to make YouTube videos for a solid 3 months. I went through a very lengthy time of not feeling like myself at all. This really pulled me away from what was giving my life purpose and meaning. And it doesn't even touch on the depression that I experienced while I was mourning my brother's death back in the spring. It was a very hard time for me to imagine a brighter future because I had a very low level of hope in that future. Without any sense of hope for our future, our present loses meaning. What we do feels pointless because we don't have belief in a future that we actually want to move towards. And research shows that hope has a direct link with happiness in life. It helps us to balance and navigate the stressful times that we experience, such as what 2020 was for a lot of us. But I have to say that from what I mentioned previously about having an outlet for expression that you can use anytime, being your journal, the only obstacle keeping you from accessing this healing tool is your own self. But as you make use of it, as you flow your thoughts down, feelings, and goals for the future, you can begin to see that you have the ability to choose what's next in every moment. As I journaled throughout this year, I made certain to keep my goals and purpose very clear to me, sometimes journaling about them daily. And this is one of the practices that I get my clients on immediately to start creating major improvements in their lives. Personally, I filled 5 journals over the course of 2020, making sure to include lots of future self-style journaling about my monthly goals, yearly goals, and even 5-year goals in different tenses to really saturate my subconscious mind in the morning with clarity of what I'm working towards, of why I'm actually doing what I do. And when you take a short amount of time at the end of the week, at the end of the month, every 90 days, to really acknowledge the progress that you've been making, this is what reinforces our sense of purpose and motivates us to keep working towards our goals. Without doing this, we tend to fall into what Dan Sullivan calls the gap. This is when we measure our present selves against the goals that we haven't achieved yet, seeing only the space between our present self and what doesn't even exist yet. What you want to do instead is measure the progress that you've made from the past to the present, boosting your motivation and confidence based on real, tangible results that you've produced to help fuel yourself towards the future. I can go on and on about this, and I will in future videos, but the biggest thing here that I want you to really take to heart is the multitude of benefits that this has for your mental health. So if you need any more reasons to start journaling, or you want to try out different styles, then check out this video right here to get started with that right away. The playlist right below it will help you with tips and habit formation on journaling too, if that's been hard for you. So make sure to check them out, subscribe and ring the bell for more future videos, and never stop growing, warriors.